I went 48 years without realizing that I had memory problems. There's an old movie called Johnny Mnemonic where a man smuggles information in his mind, but he has to do it by getting rid of his childhood memories. This is kind of the way how I feel. Except he gets his memories back, and I never will. I discovered that I have aphantasia, which is the inability to visualize things in your mind. When I was researching this, I kept coming across these letters, SDAM, something which was associated with aphantasia. And when I looked up what SDAM was, I saw that it was severely deficient autobiographical memory. And as soon as I read the description for that, it became obvious. I have this too. But I still did not grasp what that meant until I started learning about how other people remember things. For most of my life, I thought that everybody else had really good memories. I didn't realize that was my memory that was bad. For most people, memory is something that they get to relive, re-experience. They can go back in time and experience the world from a first-person point of view with the experience and emotions and sensation that comes with it. That's not how it works for me. For me, it's like I'm reading information about myself that I had read in a book or acquired on a spreadsheet. It's facts about me. When I remember, I'm not reliving the experience. My memory is like reading a report about me. I realize that I only have a sprinkling of memories. So imagine that your life is written down in a book. Everything you've ever done is written in this book. For me, it's like that ink is disappearing ink. And now most of the pages of my book are blank. There are a few paragraphs here and there, chapter titles, that I can revisit, and it gives me enough of an idea to know who I am, and I can talk about the things that I remember, but most of my life is blank. But I was able to describe enough about my life that I didn't even know I had a problem, and other people didn't notice it too. When I gather with childhood friends, they often like to reminisce. They talk about the adventures that we went on, funny stories about us. But I don't remember these things. It's like they're talking about somebody else. I can't reminisce with them. It's awkward. I can't participate. I can only listen to the stories that they say. And even if I'm the subject of the story, it doesn't feel like it's something that really happened to me. I can't join in. I can't relive it. This part of my life is just gone. And it's not just my childhood. I can maybe tell you about 3 birthdays that I've had. The rest are completely empty. Like take, for example, my 16th birthday. I remember that I was really excited about my 16th birthday because 16 is the age at which you can drive a car. So I know that I did something related to getting my driver's license. Did I take a road test? Did I take a written test? I don't know. And later in that day, I probably ate some cake or maybe hung out with some friends. I'll never know. I don't remember my first kiss. At my mother's funeral, the only thing I really remember is hugging my friends at the very end. These are moments that most people can go and revisit. And it's not just the big moments. It's the small moments too. Like if I watch a movie I have seen 5 years ago, it's essentially a brand new movie. I'll probably remember the spoilers, but I won't be able to tell you anything else about the movie. And something that stresses me out is I've probably forgotten important parts of my life that I don't even know. Trips I've gone on, things I've done, important people that I've met and interacted with, conversations I had, moments that mattered that are just gone. I've heard people say that experiences are the best gift. When you get old and weak, you can still think back and relive the things in your mind about everything that you've done. It's as if these experiences are money in the bank. My bank is going to be essentially empty. Here's the emotional truth. I mourn the loss of myself more than I mourn the loss of any specific event. I don't have access to the old versions of me. They existed, but I can't experience anything that they did. When this happened to me, the shock was overwhelming. It cracked something open inside of me, something I did not expect. This discovery was incredibly painful. It was one of the things that kicked off my emotional awakening and the spiritual journey that I have traveled upon. And this breakdown or emotional awakening is what I'm going to talk about in my next video. There are a few silver linings, though. I forget the bad things, too. The breakdown of my marriage was very painful, but I only remember a few specific things from it. I don't remember the hundreds of other things that caused pain or stress. So also, I don't really have a lot of regrets about things, because it's hard to regret something that you don't remember doing or failing to do. And because so much of my past is gone, I tend to live more in the present. I don't think about the past much because there's not really much there to remember. I was a lot happier before I figured out I had SDAM. If I'd never learned I had it, I may have never gone on this spiritual journey that I'm on. So in some ways, I'm grateful for it. And though it was critical in making me the person that I am today, transitioning me from a head-focused one to a heart-focused one, it was so painful that I would never want to do it again. If I bump into you and we had some sort of interaction before and I don't remember it, please don't be offended. It doesn't mean that the interaction wasn't important or meaningful. And if I don't remember you, it's also not in my control. It's just that these interactions and these memories went to the place where all my memories go to die. Discovering that I have SDAM was a pivotal moment of my life. It transitioned me from a head-centered person to a heart-centered one and made me the person that I am today. And I'm much happier with where I am now than where I was before I realized I was emotionally log-jammed. My goal is to help other people investigate their inner experiences and navigate them with compassion. I'm going to share my entire spiritual journey here with you. If this resonates with you, feel free to subscribe and follow my journey. And if you want to go deeper, I've got dozens of writings on my Substack, heartmindfusion.substack.com. Thank you for being here.